Thank you very much, Director, Honorable Chief Prosecutor, Deputy President, General, Ministerial Commissioner. I was welcomed to accept the invitation of the Mádl Ferenc Institute of Comparative Law to participate in the international conference organized on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the new Criminal Code of Hungary and talk about the relevant aspects. I'm not going to miss out on the opportunity to quote György, who said that the court should be good, and that depends on the purity of character of judges and their professional credentials. And the National Office of Education aims to fulfill its obligations set out by law as it looks after a broad range of educational efforts concerning the organization and structure of the judicial system in Hungary. The court is a traditional and knowledge-based organization, and therefore the professional education of judges and professional staff must be ensured both locally and at regional levels. In the lecture halls equipped with the most up-to-date technological solutions, each member of the judicial system can be enriched with up-to-date educational materials. In Hungary, we follow an Austrian and German example. That's how our system emerged in the second half of the 19th century. Initially, education was only given to the court clerks, and it was in 1913 that a unified examination was introduced for solicitors and judges, and the Hungarian Royal Court came up with a decree in the matter. And the objective was to supplement their theoretical knowledge and help them create a link between real life and the law, and help them with the application and proper understanding and interpretation of the relevant legal provisions. These sentences were said in 1913, but they are still fully relevant to this very day. Jumping to the present, I think the legal rights of the President of the Judicial Office extends to identifying the central educational tasks. The President of OBH, the Judicial Office, performs this task in a coordinated system in different forms, under different names, but they have been playing this role since 2016. As for the specific training courses, well, like in all walks of life, the pandemic left its mark. We may remember that during the lockdown, we had to minimize personal contact, and the Judicial Office was not taken by surprise when it had to shift from personal educational approaches to the online platform, because in 2012 we already started launching an e-learning platform, and also a more complex ICT system was introduced that is still in operation to this day. It must be noted at this stage that approximately 70% of the training courses were shifted to cyberspace. I find it important to highlight then, when it comes to the education of judges, the secretary and the clerk cannot be some kind of repeated university study. Judges and all participants must be prepared for legislative changes, and the synthesis of legal interpretation issues must also take place. When it comes to criminal matters, I could say in advance that it's part of the general succession education. So, and there is also mandatory education provided in substantial law and in procedural law that is offered to judges. And going from core training courses to more specialized courses, we pay special attention to certain cases, like the education of judges acting in cases involving minors, or judges who are negotiating traffic cases. And we also have some educational topics that help us meet certain international requirements, like money laundering, drug-related offenses, people trafficking, or, as the prosecutor also pointed out, education against cybercrime. And if we translate these training courses into specific numbers, since the existence of the criminal code we are celebrating today, i.e. in the past 10 years, we held hundreds of training courses and more than 15,000 judges participated in these training courses. We can say that every year we hold 20 criminal training courses approximately every year, and there are 1,500 judges attending, which of course means that several judges participate in several such courses every year. And when we look at these statistics, we can safely say that we can reach everyone through our training courses who are working in the criminal track of our organization. One of the first and most important training courses are linked to the launching of the new criminal code, and at that time the new code became effective. 1,200 people participated in this central training effort, and we had 893 people participating in face-to-face training courses. As the last step in the training process, I must highlight the training course that was held in early 2002. It was a comprehensive training setting out some of the new features of the new criminal code with 1,600 participants. After the effective date of the new criminal code, i.e. in the past 10 years, we also assess the impact of the new code on judgments and resolutions, and we can see some significant results and figures from this. In the courts, the number of culprits who were sentenced to in a legally effective manner was reduced to 3/3. In 2013, we had more than 72,000, and in 2020, the number did not reach 55,000. And the highest number was in 2014, and the lowest number in 2020 with 53,000 people. We can also read these figures by saying that the provisions of the new criminal code in force since 2013 have a preventive force in certain criminal activities, and therefore they can efficiently enforce the punitive intention set out by law. The number of those sentenced on relationship abuse is increasing. In 2021, we had 231 people, and in the next year we had more than 600. Cybercrime is also increasing, like prohibited access to data, and similar acts, and the number of perpetrators is also increasing. On top of the new provisions of the new code, it must also be highlighted that the number of sentences due to corruption is also increasing, while between 2016 and 18 we had an average of 220 sentences imposed on people for some kind of corruption crime. Between 2020 and 2022 the number increased to 304. One of the benchmarks of the societal acceptance of the rulings of courts is how much people appeal against those decisions. And in relation to the courts of first and second degrees, more than 70% of the judgments became legally effective in the first court of first instance. So I hope that all in all we can establish that the National Judicial Office uses all means available to it to organize high-quality training courses that can and do greatly contribute to ensuring that the judicial system can perform the responsibilities set out in the fundamental law and find answers to day-to-day challenges such as the proliferation of digitalization, the pandemic. So I believe we have been able to find efficient answers. We use new approaches to training and continually track changes in the Criminal Code, for which we organize training courses, thus contributing to timely and well-justified judgments. Thank you very much for your attention.